has been forced to cut its program after it lost federal funding. Cowichan Valley Youth Services offers a program that helps young people gain life skills and then pairs them with jobs. But last week, the organization found out the funding for that program had been cut. That means it will not be able to continue offering the service, despite having more than 36 youth currently on the wait list. For more on this, we've reached Zoe Lauckner. She's the Executive Director of Cowichan Valley Youth Services. Good afternoon, Zoe.
Hi, Rohit. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time. So, how does your youth employment program work exactly?
So the Youth Employment Mentorship Program, fondly referred to as YEMP, was a paid 12-week pre-employment program for youth aged 15 to 30. And it provided opportunities for young people to gain skills and confidence that they need to enter the workforce. So we'd provide workshops and job coaching, and facilitators really work to meet youth in their unique needs and supporting them with their goals. So the first 6 weeks, participants received paid life and job skills training and are really supported in going out there and finding a local job. And then for the last 6 weeks, participants continued receiving that support either in their newly acquired position or on their continued job hunt. And we offered wage subsidy to those employers who hired YEMPers, as we call them.
How much of a difference did it make for the youth that got to be part of this?
Well, as you can imagine, being a young person, if you're unemployed, you've never had a job before, you don't have experience, maybe you don't have the funds to go out and get food safe and first aid and those things that employers really expect. This was an opportunity for young people to really build confidence and skills necessary to get a job. You know, it's a bit of this chicken and an egg dilemma where employers want you to have experience before they'll hire you, but you need to get a job in order to gain experience. So this was really helped to bridge that gap, while also helping young people to develop skills like how to do your taxes and how to cook and how to present for interviews and all of those pieces. So really, really huge impact in terms of providing a clear path to employment, which, as we know, is also a clear path away from poverty and other problematic challenges.
So what was the reason given for this funding cut?
Really, we just received an email that said that they were overprescribed. They had a number of applications, and our program was not retained for funding. Now, interestingly, I have personally spoken to organizations, youth-serving organizations across Canada, and have yet to find one who was approved for this funding. So while their explanation is that there were so many applications, I'm really curious to know who actually was approved.
What kind of feedback have you been hearing from the community after getting this news?
Well, Rohit, here in Cowichan, it was not 2 weeks ago that we learned Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Cowichan Valley has announced an eventual closure due to a funding shortfall. Cowichan Family Life Association, who also provide free counseling in the community, is also closing. And so this funding decision in the wake of those announcements was incredibly devastating. Children and youth are our future and the future of our community here. So for the federal government to abandon them in this way, we really are devastated for youth in the community and the generation. You know, YEMP was a program where we quite literally saw generations of people come through, parents who hadn't become parents yet, they get a job, they go on living their lives, and then eventually their children would come through the program. So I think this is an impact that will be felt for a very, very long time. And frankly, marginalized youth in Cowichan should not bear the brunt of government austerity. So there's a lot of disappointment, devastation, and heartbreak in the community right now.
Are there any other funding streams that could be tapped into to bring this back?
That's something we're certainly looking into at this point. We're very grateful for the support that we are receiving from our local MP, Alistair McGregor, to get some answers from the federal government and look at alternative options. Unfortunately, in the community right now, pre-employment support for youth is lacking. It's a massive gap in services. And so while the Cowichan community is extremely generous and very thoughtful, this funding request was for $1.6 million over the next 4 years. So as you can imagine, that's a shortfall that is not easily found elsewhere.
So you mentioned you're working with the MP, the local MP, Alistair McGregor. If the community really wants this to continue, and if the government is not doing anything about it, Could there be, more grassroots approaches or just other ways of keeping the goals of this program alive?
Yeah, I mean, Cowichan Valley Youth Services, we've existed in the Cowichan region for over 51 years, and we are able to provide our core programming support, which is counseling support for youth and parents, thanks to our very enduring partnership with the Ministry of Children and Families. So, there's certainly potentially provincial funding options that we can look into. In the meantime, we are very committed to continuing to provide person-centered support to youth, and so if employment support is part of what those unique needs are, our core staff will do everything they can to support that. Certainly, if there are community members out there who really believe in this work, we are a registered charity, and all gifts go directly towards supporting youth in the Valley. So that's certainly one avenue of support, is reaching out to the community and seeing how we can leverage generosity and connections and really work to ensure that youth have some opportunities in this area to thrive in that aspect of transitioning from teenagehood into adult life.
Zoe, before we let you go, I mean, what did this program mean for you just to be able to work on it personally and see the differences it made every day?
Well, I certainly, like many of the staff here and many folks in the helping field and working with youth, I have my own connections to what it means to be a young person struggling. And so I think it's really beautiful to see folks come to us who have faced many challenges in life and maybe don't have self-confidence or don't see their own value. And it's a privilege and an honor to be able to hold up a mirror and reflect a sense of worth and value and community to those young people and see that blossom in them. And that's something that they'll certainly carry for the rest of their lives. So it's a real gift to be able to do this work in whatever capacity we are able to moving forward. And we just hope that we can continue to fill those growing gaps. Youth unemployment is the highest it's been in 10 years, and this is certainly not the time to remove more support to young people across Vancouver Island.
Zoe, we appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.